Hi everybody, welcome along to another episode of The Dispatches. My name is Brendan Malone. It is great to be back with you again, and today we're going to be talking about a beautiful, bold, wondrous, enlightened reimagining of Jesus in the Broadway hit musical Jesus Christ Superstar from Andrew Lloyd Webber. That's right, it has been re-released and we have now been brought into a new era. A new era of enlightenment, of broadening, of tolerances and diversity, and the brand new Jesus in Jesus Christ Superstar by Andrew Lloyd Webber is being played by none other than a black woman. Because, of course, that's what we do in the modern era. We bring truth, we bring light to dark places where in the past things have been repressed and controlled by the patriarchy and the religious hegemons. No more of that. We now have a beautiful, bold reimagining. By the way, I don't even think Jesus Christ Superstar is Andrew Lloyd Webber's best musical. Personally, I think it's a competition between Evita or The Phantom of the Opera. But nonetheless, Adam Lambert and others have decided to reimagine Jesus Christ Superstar in a bold, new and more liberal kind of way. And literally, they do have a black woman who has been playing Jesus in this reimagining. Let's have a look at an article which tells us all about this bold and beautiful new vision of Christ and Andrew Lloyd Webber's classic musical. Cynthia Erivo as Jesus Christ Superstar was supposed to provoke, says Adam Lambert. It's almost like they lack the talent to actually do anything original, so provocation is the only thing they've got to fall back on now. Because all they're doing is they're rehashing and repeating the same tired old films and stories that others have already done much better. And so the only way to try and drum up an audience now is to be provocative and to provoke people. And hopefully that'll cause people to attend because you're just being obnoxious. But anyway, that's my humble opinion. I digress. Let's read what the story is all about. Adam Lambert has said Cynthia Erivo's performance as Jesus Christ Superstar was... Well, isn't it Jesus Christ Superstar? I think it's just as Jesus Christ in Jesus Christ Superstar was supposed to provoke and challenge the audience. I hope you feel challenged. I think it's important to be challenged, and I hope you feel challenged. And if you don't feel challenged, then possibly you could be a racist. So check yourself before you wreck yourself. The acclaimed rock singer spoke in an interview with Billboard about Cynthia's 3-show run as the titular character in Andrew Lloyd Webber's musical. Let's not forget that titular character is actually a real historical person, the person of Jesus Christ. He said the aim was to encourage the audience to expand their minds a bit. Yeah, my mind is expanding. My manding is expanding. My mind is expanding. And thank you, Mr. Lambert, for helping me to be expanded in my mind. Beautiful, important stuff, really. Adding, I'm excited by the challenge of presenting the audience with a production led by a female black Jesus. I suppose that's a challenge. I mean, the production's already written for you. The music's all there. You didn't have to write anything. You didn't have to do anything other than just put a black woman into the main character of Christ in this production. But I guess that is a challenge for some people, to be fair. Let's not unfairly criticize the man. He might find that challenging. Originally utilizing rock and roll, Jesus Christ Superstar is supposed to provoke and challenge. That's the point. And shouldn't the teachings of Jesus transcend gender? Let me think about that for a second. I think he's right. Absolutely he's right. So they should transcend gender. And that means that basically Jesus should be, that's a very good justification for presenting Jesus as a black woman. I mean, he wasn't a black woman, but really because his teachings are not specific to only one gender, of course, the man himself, the divine Son of God, should of course absolutely, but why stop there? Why not actually have him played by perhaps a cat? That would be, I think, even more enlightened. You know, don't be bound by speciesism. Go beyond, move beyond. Jesus' teachings also transcend species, it seems to me. Tony winner Cynthia performed the lead role in Jesus Christ Superstar this weekend at Los Angeles Hollywood Bowl. She has also responded to backlash about her taking the role, simply asking, why not? Indeed, why not? And I think, Cynthia, that is a fair question, and it's really prompted me to make today's episode because I want to explore the why not a bit further in just a moment. I think you've struck on something important here. The musical theatre icon continued by saying, is she a musical theatre icon? I suppose. Maybe in the modern, very recent sense, but I wouldn't have thought of. But maybe I'm just an old, pale, stale male who doesn't really understand these things anymore. I'm a bit of a music theatre lover, but fair enough, she might be in that new generation. I say that seriously. The musical theatre icon continued by saying, you can't please everyone. Yeah, that's true, you can't. And that's really what's prompted today's episode. I want to explore why we need to push boundaries even further in other stories that we tell in just a moment. And you're right, Cynthia, you cannot please everyone. And really, it's only haters and bigots and spiteful, intolerant phobes of all kinds that really don't understand the beauty and the glamour of artistically what you are trying to achieve here. It is legitimately a 3-day performance at the Hollywood Bowl where I get to sing my face off. I hope not, because people do need their faces. So, and if you're singing your face off, then that's not a good outcome, really. It's not something that people really, you need your face, so keep that on. So hopefully they will come and realise, oh, it's a musical, the gayest place on earth. Well, I mean, I don't know about that. I'd imagine that a gay nightclub or a gay bathhouse might be the gayest place on earth, or Sodom and Gomorrah, they might have been the gayest places on earth previously. But I don't know if a musical is really the gayest place on earth, but each to their own. But this isn't the first time Cynthia has made the headlines for her musical work. Last year she played Elphaba in Wicked. Now, I don't know much about Wicked. My kids love it, but Elphaba, I think is how you say that. And will be reprising her role in November this year. The movie was critically acclaimed, winning numerous awards. She has also performed in The Colour Purple, which was her Broadway debut. This performance would win her an incredibly deserved Tony Award. The Colour Purple was a pretty powerful production. I remember that back in the day. However, Andrew Lloyd Webber has been extremely vocal in the past about the lack of diversity in musical theatre, calling it hideously white. That's right. And so I think this is what I'm trying to get, and hopefully you, my listeners, will understand this. I'm really trying to get this across. It is time for the broadening of horizons. It's time to reshape. Let's imagine not what is, but what could be. I think we all understood exactly what was being said there during the presidential race by Kamala Harris. We can imagine what is, right? And that's what we're going to do in this episode. In the 2016 Centre Stage report by his foundation, he wrote, I passionately believe that the stage needs to reflect the diversity of the UK population or it risks becoming sidelined. Now, there's nothing wrong with that statement, but I'm not sure whether that means that he also thinks that you would have real historical figures being played by people who aren't the correct gender or the correct ethnicity for the role, but maybe that's what he means. I'm wanting to run with that. Let's diversify. Let's diversify our portfolio, as the liberal cultural stockbrokers might say at times like this. The report further looks into increasing racial diversity in musical theatre, which is why there should be no surprise that Lloyd Webber chose a black actress for the role of Jesus. Oh, I'm sorry, I stand corrected. He did choose a black actress for the role of Jesus. Now, Andrew Lloyd Webber, I don't know, there you are, there's a photo of you. I don't know what's going on in your later years, but my man, I'm loving what you're doing here. This is great. Diversity on speed. We need more of it. More of this, please. Fans were also quick to share their thoughts on the casting, with many feeling positive about the choice. They felt it. They feel the positivity. This show was absolutely amazing, one Instagram user wrote, with another adding, the show was remarkable. I saw it Friday. It will forever be a theatre experience imprinted on my heart. And imprinted on your heart is now a beautiful and amazing theatre experience, which was not just amazing, but absolutely amazing, as the previous Instagram user told us. However, now listen to this. I love the wording of this, but this is glamorous. Have a listen to this. However, show us your bias, please, Mr. Journalist. Stop, wait a minute, Mr. Journalism. Oh, here comes the bias. However, some Christians were quick to insult the casting choice, saying it was blasphemous. Can you seriously imagine a journalist writing that? Imagine if Andrew Lloyd Webber had written a musical about Muhammad. Muhammad the musical. Muhammad superstar. It probably isn't going to ever get made, but let's imagine he did. And they decided to cast a white woman to play the role of Muhammad. Can you imagine a journalist ever writing something talking about how some Islamists, some Christians were quick to insult the casting choice? No, what they would rightly say, and this is how that should have been framed, is they would say, however, some Christians were quick to question the casting choice or were upset by the casting choice, saying it was blasphemous. But, oh no, these people are just insulting bigots. They are phobes of the highest order. They're all a bunch of racists, don't you know? Maxine Harrison, a freelance journalist, wrote, "This is yet another case study of how Christianity is openly and casually mocked compared to other faiths." And to be fair, it smacks of that. Basically, Christianity, regardless of whether that is the case with this particular musical, it's just a musical at the end of the day. Again, it's not Andrew Lloyd Webber's greatest work, and it certainly is not a great theological companion to the life of the Christian faith. But it is true that Christianity is the one faith that really is treated with such disdain. And ironically, it's probably treated with greater reverence in non-Christian countries, other religious non-Christian countries, than it is in Christian countries that are now populated by liberal elites. It's quite interesting that they've turned on their own heritage. It's a sort of a self-loathing, a destructive self-loathing too. With this casual culture of heresy towards Christianity, it further proves the validity of the faith because there is so much attack on it, she further added. And she's right. I mean, you don't attack things that you don't see as powerful and strong and meaningful. You really only ridicule things that obviously, are living rent-free inside your head. And obviously Christianity continues to live rent-free inside the heads of a lot of very hostile liberal people. Despite this negativity, many are calling upon the production team to release it as a movie, saying they would do anything to watch this performance again. "I would paint my face black," said one. No, sorry, they didn't say that. But, they would do anything apparently to watch this as a musical. And let's explore now what one reviewer actually had to say about this, the highly prestigious Variety magazine. This is what the reviewer said about the performance. "Of course, the line on Jesus, theologically, is that he was or is both man and God." Well, I mean, you don't even need to talk about theology. Historically, Jesus of Nazareth was actually a man, and he was a Jewish man. Definitely not a black woman. No question there at all. There's no ambiguity. There's no uncertainty there. It's pretty clear. Definitely was a man. Definitely a Jewish man. Lived approximately 2,000 years ago. And Rice's lyrics in the more self-doubting numbers like Gethsemane go a long way there. But it's... so we don't need to actually look at real history or understand the Christian theological writings that tell us about Jesus. We just need to read the lyrics of Rice's songs in this musical, particularly Gethsemane. They'll tell us who Jesus was, apparently. So they go a long way there to helping us. But it's ultimately hard not to play his humanity up so much that he just becomes banal. Imagine someone writing that about Muhammad. You wouldn't get a liberal elite in the West writing that about Muhammad. They just wouldn't. They wouldn't. But apparently, being the divine Son of God, fully human and fully divine, apparently that's just a banal, that was a Freudian slip. That's a banal humanity. Gosh. But what better